As always, guys, this is just for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I want to make another video on agronomics. Usually the summer is a bit of a quiet period for agronomics. We don't see much investments, we don't see much happening. But for some reason we did see quite a few investments since my last update. That was about June. We also saw a new NAV increase. So really good times right now for agronomics. What we haven't seen yet is more approval, any kind of approval for the companies of agronomics. But there is a bit of news on that and I want to share it with you guys. Firstly, we do need to discuss the general trend in the market, which is not so good. So here's an article at CNBC. Zoom investor tells startup founders forget the past 3 years and accept a 50% valuation hit. That's quite high, 50%. It depends, of course, on when agronomics invested in those companies. But it's quite possible that if it invested anything in November 2021, that company will currently not have the same valuation as right now. And I mentioned that before in one of my videos. And so that's something that I'm currently watching really closely to see if those valuations will come down, what those valuations do. So here we see also, it only depends right now if founders need to raise money. Maybe you don't need money right now and you can go for a while without money and you can wait out the storm and hope things improve. But it's really insecure right now if things will become better or if the market turns even more harsh, and then it might be better to raise some money right now. One thing that might be on our side good news, well, bad news, that's actually good news for us investors, is food inflation is running rampant, more than any other type of inflation, and that does give us food startups an edge. It's something extremely important that draws a lot of government investments, and I think that could keep at least the prices of the startups of agronomics stable. But it's really hard to know until we actually see it in practice. So you see here for the UK, it's almost 10% in June, the food inflation. The numbers for July are coming out in 2 days. I'm definitely going to be watching. I'm not going to go to all the markets, but we see that increase in inflation. Here's Singapore going from 4.5 to 5.4%, might increase even more in a big market for cultivated meat. This is definitely going to encourage investments in cultivated meat. Solar Foods, for example, has said in the past, once the factory is built, it can be self-sufficient and we can have a stable food price. So that's the good news. There has been also some news on two of Agronomics investors, quite big news actually. So first, Shiok Meat. Agronomics has a 1.6% stake in this company. So not a huge stake, but it is something. And they confirm commercial launch in 2023 as shrimp reaches US 50 per kilogram milestone. I think in Europe, the price at wholesales shrimp is quite expensive. So for sure, you'll probably pay more than $10 per kilogram, maybe more in the shop. So it is quite well. I think in Asia it's cheaper. That you can probably get it for $5 per kilogram. Not sure, but yeah, it's getting somewhere. I do think the price will need to increase further because right now it will just be a luxury product. But it is good that Shiok Meat has plans and maybe it can draw upon extra government investment. Like we know China, it's an Asian company. I think they're located in China. We know that China might be investing in cultivated meat the coming years. So they would like to reach production by scale next year, specifically by the end of 2023. I think it's extremely ambitious, but I would like to see it. So they also state they're looking to move into another new round of fundraising, but timing wise, and this is also what I mentioned this video and my last videos, we are a bit flexible as we do understand currently the markets are not doing extremely well. So the aim is to get the best investors, the most strategic investors on board. And I've started noticing that in a lot of the rounds this year that they're looking for people like meat companies or shrimp companies or restaurant companies as investors. So companies that can accelerate their time to market and join. Make it much easier for them to get some user base, some customer base. Not sure they're going to get it at $50 per kilogram. I'm also pretty skeptical when I read a statement like this. So I want to see it before I believe it. We have had a lot of statements last year that 2022 would be the time that cultivated meat would come on the market from Blue Nanu, for example. So it's very hard to believe these statements and might just be hype trying to bring in new investment. And again, that price needs to go down. $50 is still quite high. But maybe, yeah, as like an ingredient for, say, some soup or something, then yeah, it could be affordable for some luxury restaurants. And maybe, yeah, vegans, vegetarians who really want to try meat again. So another thing that's very interesting and important news is Supermeat. So they link with retail major Migros. They expect to be selling in Switzerland by 2025. So also here we see it again with Supermeat. They also went for a more strategic investor, namely Migros. Now Migros is extremely important in Switzerland. They have annual sales of almost 30 billion. So it's about the same in euros or dollars. So it's the largest retail company in Switzerland. They have factories in Switzerland, but they have also factories in neighboring countries. They have a big distribution there. So what can Migros offer? They have extensive infrastructure, including meat processing facilities, distribution and storage facilities in Switzerland, as well as in neighboring countries. Can we believe the statement of Supermeat? To be honest, Supermeat is a bigger company, bit more conservative. They have actually a proven track record. So if they say 2025, seems like a realistic target. I'm tempted to believe this one. So we'll see. So they talk about their commercialization strategy. Supermeat expect to be able to sell product in Switzerland in 3 years, and Migros will help to accelerate the approval process. The startup partnered also with Japanese food giants, but also others like PH Weed Group, which is extremely important in Europe for the European market, where they signed some kind of a letter of intent. MOU, I forgot what it stands for, but it's some sort of commitment. A weak commitment, but it's a commitment. And so they want to continue to partner with industry leaders that will expedite the scale-up process. Of course, they are not revealing anything about the financial side, and in my opinion, probably I suspect that Migros had some really nice investments valuations actually. I don't think they paid more of the last round where the Supermeat was valued 250 million, which was in March this year. Potentially they got it for the same or even better conditions. It's not really said here. On the other hand, even for existing stockholders, speed up to market is only positive right now. So we also saw that Supermeat received a grant from the government, and that's also something I said. We're going to see more and more governments involved. We're going to see them giving grants, giving out money, because food security is super important. Another company that posted a small update was Meatable. They released some photos of their pork, of their cultivated pork meat. It does look quite good. Of course, this is raw. It still has to be cooked. They have some pictures. Agronomics also mentioned a few investments, actually financial investments, into some of their companies. So first is Tropic Biosciences that had another funding round. Now we'll go a bit deeper into the financials later, but it does really, I do really like to see progress on that. It's a company I really like, and I think it probably suffers a lot less from hurdles that have to do with regulation. So I'm happy to see progress on this company. Another one, completely new, is AllGFoods, and this was a really, really big investment. I'll come down to it later. It looks like it's an Australian company. I hadn't heard of it before, but they are about fermentation and plant protein. And I think that's probably why Agronomics has made such a big investment in that. Agronomics realized that for these kind of things, they do not need regulatory approval, so they will have a faster time to market. And that explains that, yeah, they really put in a lot of money to it. Again, I'll come to the investments later, but it looks like a really nice company. They're unlocking the power of protein. They have a really nice website. Another one they made this year, that's more of a seed investment, so a pretty small investment. But when I read about it, I became excited. So it's a company that wants to replace things like palm oil, and yeah, here they say it's their product is clean palm oil, because they think for the existing palm oil, you need to cut trees and all kinds of things. And they believe if they make clean fats, that it will really help the environment. And I think it's a great idea. So really, this is a kind of investment that I like, even if the company is still in its child shoes. And I don't know, maybe this will have an easier regulatory approval process. Hard to say right now. And then lastly, we look at the investments. I have had a few people who have been asking me for this Excel, and I've been thinking what to do about this. So I decided to put the Excel on Etsy store. I think I put it for $3.63, so quite cheap. And I did want to ask something for it because I do put a lot of effort in it, but I didn't want to ask too much for it because I want to give even the small investors also the chance to have the Excel. What you get really the full Excel from the very beginning. I start to track all these months. So if you're interested in it, go have a look. I put the link down below in the video. Now let's get to the changes. I already discussed Supermeat and Shiok Meat. I should have probably put this one in blue as well, Meatable. And then the three new investments, AllGFoods. So we see that, yeah, this is a big company. So no, I have to correct that a little bit. It's a big company, so really, really nice market cap there. And yeah, 15 Australian dollars got invested in there, so it's 8.7 million pounds. So it's bringing down the cash pile of Agronomics. They still have 35 million pounds, but it looks like the amount is dropping. They could be preparing for a dilution. Of course, they might be expecting something like regulatory approval for either of their companies, and that would give the entire stock price of Agronomics a big boost, and that could lead to another round of extra investment. So what else did they invest in? Tropic Biosciences, they didn't actually invest in, but they got a new investment, and that investment was public. And we saw there was a 1% increase since March 2020. So that's very different of the 700% increases we saw last year. But we can be lucky. The last investment before that was March 2020. We can be lucky. The price so far remained stable. So we didn't actually lose any money on this investment. And that's already something in this current markets, to be honest. The other one, CleanFoods Group here. It's a very small investment, it's £500,000-600,000, so becoming a very small percentage of their portfolio. And what does it do to the NAV, guys? My NAV here right now, based on these calculations, it's 0.148 pounds. Compared to the current share price, you would pay a 90% premium. That's about, yeah, it's a bit lower than probably the average in the last 1 to 2 years. It shows another increase. When we're looking at the announcement of Agronomics themselves, they talk about a 15.27 price per share. So it's slightly higher, like we're talking about 1, 2, 3% probably higher than what I had in mind. I'm not sure what it's related to. There might have been some reevaluation of the company that I missed, but I doubt it. What I probably think it's related to is a currency reevaluation. Maybe they're keeping parts of their money into cash, and I cannot see everything. Maybe I cannot see that. I did reevaluate the currencies here as well. So yeah, pounds, US dollar to GB pound. So that really actually has a positive impact on their NAV already. I'm not sure where the last comes from. I will just keep tracking it, and probably I won't know for sure what the difference is. We're talking about the difference of what is it? Yeah, 0.04 cents or something. So not much, but I'll probably not know it until the end of the year when they actually reveal all the companies and all the financials, and then I might actually know what their actual NAV is. So until then, for now, I'm just keeping my NAV. I also don't know, for example, the details of Good Dog Food. So until they actually are open with that, I don't know that. If someone would have any idea, then let me know. Guys, I think I rambled enough about it. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you want this Excel, it's in the comments, so it's there, free, accessible for everyone who wants it. I only charge a very, very small fee because I just couldn't do it to give it away for free, guys. Sorry for that. I did put in a lot of effort into this. I'm not making any money with these videos. It's just an out of control hobby right now. So if you like these videos, please like, please subscribe. I appreciate every single comment, appreciate every single one of you. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.